Alright, so this month has been pretty slow for boxing, making me flaccid, but some huge boxing news has come out to make me hard again, and it's that a fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford is being finalized. The fight is reportedly being targeted for Mexican Independence Day weekend in September at 168 pounds for Canelo's super middleweight titles. At the time of me writing this, no contracts have been signed, and nothing is official yet. But with everything reportedly agreed upon on both Crawford and Canelo's sides, it looks like the fight is actually going to happen. The fight seems to be targeted for Las Vegas instead of Saudi Arabia, despite the event being organized by Turki Al-Sheikh and Riyadh season. Both fighters met with Turki in London during the Ring Magazine award ceremony, and it seems as though huge progress was made towards making this fight happen. Turki has expressed his interest in making this fight in the past, so it's probably safe to assume this is the fight they met with him to discuss. Crawford posted on Twitter, or X, about his meeting with Turki, saying he's going to shock the world. Canelo, after meeting with Turki, also posted his meeting and was also asked about fighting Crawford, which he said that there's a possibility. A much different response from when previously asked about the fight, saying he has nothing to gain if he wins. It's a lose-lose situation for him. He feels like he'll be criticized for fighting someone so much smaller than him, so on and so forth. It seems as though for Canelo, the price just had to be right, and Turki provided him with exactly that. We know Crawford has been calling for a fight against Canelo for some time now, and with him now at the age of 37, he really wants those big money fights before he calls it a career. And that's not to say this fight wouldn't be huge for Crawford's legacy. After becoming 2-time undisputed, Crawford has entertained the idea of going for 3-time undisputed. And the way to do so in the least amount of fights is by fighting Canelo, who was at the time undisputed at super middleweight. Unfortunately, Canelo is no longer undisputed since William Skull is now the IBF champion, but boxing fans and the general public have been tickled with the idea of Canelo versus Crawford and now want it. So now you're probably wondering, what do I think about this fight? Well, I'm always excited to see Terence Crawford fights and Canelo Alvarez fights, so of course I'll be excited to see them fight each other. It is quite crazy to think that Crawford will have to move up 2 more weight classes after just moving up to 154 in his last fight. This kind of reminds me of when Canelo fought Amir Khan or when Gennady Golovkin fought Kell Brook, only those fights feel like they came more out of nowhere than this one. This one has been building up more, and Terence Crawford is more at the top of his game than Khan was. So the fight this reminds me more of is Oscar De La Hoya versus Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao was at the top of his game and moved up 2 divisions to fight Oscar in a dream fight. A lot of people were counting Manny out because of the size difference, just like people are counting Crawford out. However, interestingly enough, since Canelo has a small frame for his weight, Crawford is about the same height as him. Might be even shorter than Crawford. Sometimes Canelo is listed as 5'7", sometimes he's listed as 5'9", it's weird. Also, Crawford has a reach advantage, so Canelo's size advantage is purely a weight advantage. Crawford also has the skills to make up for the size difference to make this fight more interesting. He's possibly the most skilled fighter Canelo has faced since Floyd Mayweather, and while Canelo did lose that fight against Mayweather way back then, he's evolved leaps and bounds since then, and is also bigger than he was then. I really wonder if Crawford will be able to carry his power up to super middleweight. Crawford hits hard, but if the fight is in September, that's an awfully short amount of time to try to put on the weight effectively. When Crawford moved up to 147, he cracked the chins of everyone he faced. He moved up to 154 and wasn't able to crack Madrimov's chin. Now he's going to have to skip 160, go up to 168, and try to crack Canelo's chin? Not enough people talk about Canelo's chin, by the way. The guy has never been dropped and has eaten big shots like they're nothing across 4 weight divisions. Amir Khan mentioned how he hit Canelo with his best punches and he didn't even budge. He fought the knockout legend Gennady Golovkin 3 times and was never dropped. Crawford is going to have his hands full all night if his power doesn't carry up enough to keep Canelo off of him. Crawford and his team are going to have to come up with the perfect game plan to outbox, outsmart, and outwork Canelo. Because even if they have one game plan, Canelo is very good at adapting mid-fight. If Crawford does get caught, will he be able to withstand Canelo's punches? He will have to be perfect to avoid getting caught as much as possible. Crawford did eat quite a few straight right hands from Madrimov. If Canelo lands a straight right, he might get knocked out the way Amir Khan did. Perhaps if Crawford ducks down to avoid Canelo's shots, Canelo will hit him with an uppercut like he did to break Billy Joe Saunders' orbital bone. I think without a shadow of a doubt, this is Crawford's toughest fight of his career. And while I think he does have the skills to pull it off, the biggest question for me is if he'll have the power to keep Canelo off of him. Because if he doesn't, I think he'll end up biting off more than he could chew. And that's going to do it for this one. Thank you to all my GOAT tier patrons: Jason Maheenan, Grant Gabriel, Albert Chen, Gostali Geza, Marshall Bott, Jesus Galindo, Nyan Valdez, MSM Neal, RC, Daniel Contreras, Lionel Johnson, Val Ravenheim, Jacob McMillan, JJJR, Sua, Maxwell Hodge, Josiah Rozier, Braden Sosa, Defensive Genius, and my channel member Lucas Miller. You guys all keep the channel going, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.